Montenegro has 31 friends and allies by its side to ensure this country stays safe and secure. For example, Greek and Italian aircraft continue to protect your airspace. But Montenegro is also an exporter of security, deploying troops to NATO's forward land forces in Latvia and Bulgaria, helping to deter and defend against any aggression. And you contribute to KFOR, NATO's peacekeeping mission in Kosovo. Montenegro promotes peace and stability across the Western Balkans, a region of great and also of strategic importance for NATO. And we know that security cannot be taken for granted. It is something we all work for, and we do this every day. NATO supports constructive cooperation across the region. We know there are actors trying to pull the Western Balkans backwards. They want to disrupt progress and destabilize the region. NATO is committed to keep the troubles of the past firmly in the past. We will call out and counter any malign activities on NATO territory. We need strong societies defended by strong militaries, because we live in a more dangerous world. Russia continues to wage a war of aggression against Ukraine. China is becoming more assertive, and our southern neighborhood is volatile. NATO allies must invest more in defense, increase defense production, and strengthen support for Ukraine. I welcome that Montenegro is already investing more than 2% of its GDP on defense, and I count on you to keep up the momentum. NATO is committed to enhance the transatlantic industrial base so it can support and sustain credible deterrence in defense.
Prvo bih da napomenem da su kapaciteti naše vojske osnaženi značajno u prethodnim godinama. I to građani vide. Imamo sada po Eurobarometru, najnovijem istraživanju Europske komisije koje je objavljeno prije nekih 7 dana, povjerenje u vojsku je na istorijskom maksimumu od 78%. Samo da negdje uporedimo te brojke koje su bile daleko ispod 50% i godinama bile daleko ispod 50%, sada imamo povjerenje praktično čitave nacije, svih etničkih, religijskih, identitetskih grupa stoje iza vojske Crne Gore i iza misije vojske Crne Gore. Imaćemo i neke investicije koje se tiču i zajedno sa Kanađanima, zajedno sa Njemcima, zajedno sa nekim drugim nacijama i tako dalje, tako dalje. Tako da sjajni dani očekuju vojsku Crne Gore, a samim tim mislim da ćemo biti mnogo produktivniji i bolji član NATO-a. Crna Gora je spremna, naravno, u kontekstu Balkana i uvijek je. Crna Gora je Zapadni Balkan u malom.
Pitanje za gospodina Ruttea. Nedavno ste kazali da pojedine članice NATO-a, među kojima je i Crna Gora, razmatraju da svoje baze ustupe za intervencije na Bliskom istoku. Ako možete da nam pojasnite šta to konkretno znači.
The basing is more figuratively, but the point I want to make more generally, without going into what it exactly means for Montenegro or other countries, because we don't want to make others too much informed and too wise. But what I wanted to make is this point, that Montenegro, when it comes to NATO, is one of the staunchest allies. And when it comes to the bilateral relationship with the United States, Montenegro is seen by the United States, I know this from my American friends, as a staunch ally of the United States within NATO, but also bilaterally. When it comes to the more fundamental question of NATO's future, I'm extremely optimistic. And I'm extremely optimistic because of President Trump. Because let's look at what happened last year. We have seen the whole of the alliance now on 2%, including the bigger economies like Canada, Spain, Belgium and Italy, who were all not yet reaching the 2% at the beginning of last year. And I think the re-election of President Trump played a large role here. And then we had the summit in The Hague, where collectively we decided to move to the 5% defense spending, including 3.5% on core defense. And this is something which President Trump has been pushing for many years, and he has been successful now at the beginning of his second term to get this done. And it is not only crucial to equalize our defense spending with the US, but also because we need to defend ourselves against our adversaries, particularly, of course, Russia, But let's not be naive about other forces in the world which might be able to attack us somewhere in the future. So we have to stand ready for all of that, and that means massive investments in our defense. So I think you could argue that NATO is extremely strong at the moment, is now implementing all these decisions from The Hague. We are going into the Ankara summit, which will very much focus, of course, on Ukraine, keeping them as strong as possible, but also on getting this money now translated into the critical capabilities we need to develop. That means also developing our defense industrial base, which is great, but not producing enough, not in the US, not in Europe. This is a joint problem we are facing and which we have to work on together with our defense industries on both sides of the Atlantic. And that will be one of the main issues we will discuss in Ankara. So I'm optimistic.